How about them Irish?
I can't take it anymore. I need a national championship.
This is the Four Horsemen Podcast.
All right, hold on. Let's do it like Dylan. Claps in Canadian.
It was the most auspicious of evenings that the Aggies came to town and did battle with the Fighting Irish in South Bend. The September night sky faded away, and as did a lot of our dreams. As a final drive and a final defensive stand wasn't meant to be, Marcel Reed finds his man in the corner of the end zone, and through numerous blunders and flubs along the way by the Irish defense and a whole slew of mistakes that we're going to get into, it just didn't happen. Hearts broken, heart ripped out of our chest in the last seconds. We've now lost to two top 10 teams in the country by a grand total of 4 points across 2 games. So, with 41 points for the Texas A&M Aggies, 40 points for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Irish are 0-2. It sucks, but it's where we are. And where we are compares nothing to like where Tim was the last 2 weeks. He got to experience a great game, although it didn't go our way. He got to experience Shane Gillis. Tim, this one sucked, but it was obviously probably a really fun atmosphere. So
Yeah.
I want you to just give us all of your experience, just as a quick reminder to you and everybody listening. I personally have never been blessed and in the position to go to Notre Dame for a football game yet. So what did you do on campus? What did you do off campus? Give us a quick rundown, and then obviously get us all the way through your tailgating, your legendary tailgating, and then right into the game, and then just unleash, buddy. The floor is all yours.
Well, if you want, the ticket prices have dropped tremendously, so you could definitely go to a game this year. And as far as the comedy act
Quickly,
I saw, I think
Quickly, do you have any fucking idea how expensive daycare is?
probably not as expensive as just bringing your kid and just holding him. You need a ticket for the kid too, but that's still probably cheaper.
Yeah.
They don't let you bring in children anywhere. Everyone needs a ticket. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, the comedy act of Shane Gillis was followed up by the comedy act of the defensive backfield, for sure. I didn't really walk around campus that much. My hip's been hurting me. I have some sciatica. My foot's been bothering me. I got run over by a taxi about 10 years ago that acts up every once in a while. And what I actually did was I kind of milked that. I had some dude on a golf cart drive me from the Embassy Suites where I go to the bathroom because it's cheap. It takes less time to walk across the street and go to the bathroom than wait in the porta potties when you get closer to game time. Pro tip for all y'all out there: if it's too many people over there, I'm gonna be pissed. So tailgating was great. Got there at 8 a.m. Got set up in our spot. Set up my big ass circus tent. It's weatherproof. Put up some sides. Thunderstorms came in till like noon. We're underneath a giant tree, surrounded by a bunch of flagpoles and an aluminum tent. So we were kind of just thinking the odds are like 30% we get hit. That means 70% we don't get hit by lightning. So we just kept drinking. Ate some food. Drank a lot. And then went to the game. It wasn't this like we had music playing and stuff. It wasn't a spectacular tailgate. I mean, it was a blast. Everyone had fun watching football games and shit like that. Dougie Sant stopped by. A couple other people stopped by. Mason Plummer stopped by. We were all talking ball, having fun, drinking beer. I had toast. We put all my stuff away, and I don't remember how he packed the car, so just kind of wing it, just throw everything into the back seat, just whatever you can do to get in there. Go to the game, get some beer inside the stadium. I had about 21 beers in the parking lot because I keep track of my bottle caps, so I had 21 blue lights. And I had probably like 10 Miller Lights inside the stadium and watched whatever the fuck that was in front of my eyes. Yeah, that was the tailgating experience. The game itself, as far as, I do have a question, and Steve, maybe you can answer me for me. Mm-hmm. For the towels, when they give you these towels and you're supposed to wave them around, and it adds vibe for sure, and TV production value and all that shit, and it might be like the scene of it kind of might overwhelm the other team, because I'm sure it did against Indiana. I know it did, but when their offense is out in the field and you're behind them, should you not wave the towel because you're waving it in your defense's face instead of their offense's face? So does it do anything? Like, I feel like just yelling would be better.
Now, see, these are the hard-hitting questions that you won't find anywhere else in the Notre Dame media except here at the Four Horsemen. It could distract the defense. I think it very well distracted a lot of our defensive backs who couldn't seem to comprehend the fact that you need to stick to your man in coverage, or when it's zone coverage, you got to kind of keep your head on a swivel, see where the routes are coming, have a feel for it, follow the quarterback's eyes, especially a young quarterback on the road making, his 8th career start. Very fucking cool. Could have also distracted the defensive line, who did we have a defensive line in that game? Oh, wait, we did. On the final play when they got absolutely tackled and held, and Marcel Reed was able to just toss a ball into the corner of the end zone to a linebacker that professed in his press conference that he knew the read and he knew the play and he knew the formation and he knew what was going to happen, just somehow forgot to turn his back when the fucking ball was in the air. That's very cool. It could have certainly been a distraction. You would hope that it's for the other team, but I don't know. It might have worked some reverse juju. I just don't know, buddy.
Well, I did use the towel because it was yellow at the key point when I was across the field and I saw that guy get tackled, and I threw the towel like it was a flag because no one else wanted to throw one. So, it was at first I threw it because I saw that and no one else did, except for whoever was watching, anyone with eyes. And then I was pissed that he caught the ball, and I had nothing left to throw anymore. So I was like, fuck. I will say shout out to ND fans for not littering the field with garbage, because that could have been the last time we ever had beer at the stadium, because it was kind of warranted. If this was a Cleveland game, I'm pretty sure that would have happened. Yeah, let's just jump into this bullshit. I have some notes. I don't want. First thing I want to address, because I can't get on Twitter without seeing everyone bitching about the tush push. So I'm going to say it one time on the air for all your ears to hear. It is the easiest play to stop. The tush push is the easiest play to stop. You know how? You snap the quarterback's neck when he jumps out over the line. You physically injure him. You face mask him. You rip him. You punch him. You do whatever you can to physically hurt this man, and they won't run it anymore. So just want to get that out there. So someone... A big fail this week was the Notre Dame equipment manager for not being able to keep Jeremiah Love's helmet on his head. Got to protect the noggin at all costs. He's too important. He's got a good comic book coming out. We need his mind. You had 2 weeks to fix a lot of problems on both sides of the ball. That was a lot to do, asking for a lot. You fixed most of them, but you did not fix the defensive backfield at all. So the pass protection was way better. The run blocking, I don't know if it's the scheming or just people not knowing what they're supposed to be doing and doing the wrong thing, but it was not. There was a lot of run blocking. I was just wondering where are you doing? There was for that 4th and 1, we had a defensive end and a defensive tackle just walk through the line unblocked, and Jeremiah Love gets smacked in the backfield. Like, that could have... We could have won this game in the first quarter, boys. We could have won... We had all the momentum. All of it. We could have gone up big. But you just decided to just Olay again. I watched the replay today. For anyone that needs to know, I watched the replay today, and it took me an hour to get through the first 20 plays because I had to stop. I had to keep pausing it and seeing if what I was seeing with my eyes was actually what was happening. We got out of the first few possessions without them moving the ball much, but it was all mostly because of penalties. Like we did not look good on defense even when we were stopping them. It wasn't good. So we were outmatched in the box on almost every single play in the first 20 plays. I wrote down my chalk sheet's just covered with shit. Oh boy. All right. No gap discipline, play 1. Holding penalty, play 2, and it was a bad call, so we got bailed out there. Maybe it was a makeup call at the worst time at the end. Who knows? I don't know what we were doing here, but Schuler was playing linebacker on play 3. Not sure what that was about. We didn't blitz that play, but KVA was just kind of standing around not doing anything, so then he ran in late. That was crazy. Snead went to go play man on the running back running a real route when you're in cover 3 zone. That was cool on play 4. Reed overthrew the receiver by 10 feet, and Gray dropped a pick at their 45-yard line that same play. Maybe we just need a... dude, these defensive backs suck. All right. Play 5. 12-yard screen to a motion receiver that no one picked up. Then they punted, so we were good there because it was 3rd and 20 when they had that 12-yard screen play. And this was the cool part. I did nail this. I saw us shifting on the line pre-snap. I looked at Dylan next to me. I said, different Dylan. By the way, for those of you wondering where our Canadian friend is, he's in Canada working.
Yeah, I
he can't be on
forgot
tonight.
to mention that Dylan is not joining us for this. He's traveling for business.
Yeah. He is still with us.
You told Dylan next to you when you saw the line shift on the punt.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna block this. I knew it right away because I could tell they were struggling trying to pick up who was in. Block 7 points. Our offense hasn't even taken the field yet. Our defense is kind of bailed out. We're up 7-0. Can't get any better than that. And then play 7. I can't believe I need to even talk about play 7 because it's a fucking kickoff, and you kick it out of bounds, and you just piss in the special teams momentum right in the face. You just got to kick the ball far. Kick ball far. It went out the 1-yard line, but still out of bounds.
Was there a lot of wind that night?
No wind.
No. All right, so that's the only thing that would have justified it is if they weren't confident that they could get that into the end zone for a touchback. The fact that we don't have a kicker on Notre Dame's roster that can get a touchback is a 5-alarm fire.
Yeah. I don't care what everyone else says. We need to recruit a kicker. We need to, because this is just ridiculous. This is 4 years in a row where I'm getting pissed at the kicking game. And the NFL has the best kicker of all time who went to Notre Dame and never even kicked a fucking ball for us once. So who cares, right? He went to Notre Dame, whoop-de-doo. He didn't do anything in Notre Dame besides play soccer. Shout out to the men's soccer team. Love y'all, but this isn't what that podcast is about. This is about a kicker who can't kick the ball 60 yards out of the end zone. Yeah, there was no wind. All right, so then we got 1st and 10 from the 35, right? And the false start by A&M. So now it's 1st and 15 from the 30, right? We're in cover 2. You have a safety blitz. Prince of Boo Boo gets home as Reed throws. Incomplete. 2nd and 15. KVA blitzes and flushes Reed out. We weren't getting home. We weren't getting sacks. But we were putting pressure on him, and he had to scramble a lot. And as for someone that's a mobile quarterback, his throwing on the run skills aren't as good as I thought they were going to be. Thank God. Or this could have been ugly. Next play. Reed scrambled for 4 yards. They punt again. All right. Now we get, we do good on offense, right? Where we do okay. Jeremiah Love, 13-yard run. Faison drops a 13-yard pass on a perfect throw. Can't happen. Love, 9-yard gain. Play 15. Play 16. This is where I lose my shit. A&M calls a snap, timeout, pre-snap, right? It's 3rd and 1. We're at the 50-yard line. All the momentum in the world is with ending it. We just got a block kick. We got the ball back. We're at the 50-yard line, 3rd and 1. You need 1 yard. You have the best running back in the country. behind what should be the best offensive line, and you let both the defensive end and the defensive tackle just go unblocked and blow up Love in the backfield for a loss of 4. I don't know if this was schemed by Stevie Wonder or Eli Raridon just decided now's a good time to triple team the defensive tackle for no fucking reason. But and they moved in. This is what also pissed. Stop fucking bringing the receivers to block. Stop motioning the receivers to block. You're just bringing an extra guy in the box. You know what he did? He just ran out and blocked the receiver or the defensive back. He could have blocked out in the edge where it wouldn't have even been a problem. Just keep him out there. All right. Instead, you think that Greathouse is going to pick up an SEC defensive end on a block because Raridon didn't think he needed to. So I don't know what's wrong with this, but it was terrible. And then fucking who was it on the right side? Someone just chip blocked the fucking defensive end and went on. Like, okay, glad you got the linebacker, but it doesn't matter when you're dead 4 yards in the backfield. Then we punt it. That we could have won the game right there with a first down. Like that game could have been over right there. All right, because then let's say we scored a touchdown that drive. We're up 14-0, and all the momentum is in our way. Instead, we got to punt it, right? And now here's the next 2 plays, and this is where I stopped really caring. I was like, this is a fucking disaster. A&M's in 11 personnel. They motioned the tight end in, and for whatever reason, we're in nickel. Again, don't know why. They ran it for 4 yards. Next play is where I want to kill myself. Because we're in nickel. They're in 11 personnel. And the wide receiver motions to the left. And Stroman goes to pick it up because it's a switch. Switching coverage. So Hobbs flips it to Stroman. Stroman's picking it up. He's now got the guy on the right. And snap ball. Guy's still running. Receiver's still running. And Stroman is in a full fucking sprint to the line of scrimmage. While the receiver is running past the line of scrimmage downfield. And he's 5 yards past the guy you're supposed to be covering. Mm-hmm. Do you not know that there's a field behind you? Like, even if he's throwing a screen there. So what? Pick it up after that. You can't let him wheel route you. He's got all his momentum is going forward, and yours is going against his. Who do you think is going to win that? Them every time. So, bad there, right? So, that's one huge fuck up by the defensive backfield in this play, right? But don't worry, Christian Gray's behind you covering his guy. Actually did it right time that time. He'll make the play. Because the whole sideline is right there. That big white sideline, if they step on that, that means the play's dead. And you have Hobbs coming in from the inside because he knew that Stroman fucked up and he's catching up. And all he has to do is knock him out of bounds. By the way, the Canadian's not here to check our language. You have 2 badmouth Americans, and we're both pissed off. Because I don't know what the fuck Christian Gray was doing, but he was about to go in a taekwondo fight and just took a little bow instead of actually making a tackle. Just ducked his head. And then all of our guys collide, and it's a 85-yard touchdown pass. Momentum, dead.
Yep. And just like that, and even when we took the lead again in the first half, we ultimately piss it away and go down. When's the last time that Notre Dame scored 24 points in the first half and we're losing at halftime? Don't know what that statistic is, but that's got to be a hell of a while. And Tim, there's something you did mention here that I do want to focus on. Is you said that for a mobile QB that Marcel Reed was not that great at throwing on the run. And you did, as you rightly pointed out, that at least we were able to get some pressure on him. Now, Marcel Reed for this game was only completing passes at a 46% clip. He went 17 for 37, which, the pressure was there, just obviously not in the moments that mattered. But there's a lot of frustrations that I have. So, notably, again, another game where last year we would win the middle 8. This year we lost the middle 8. We give up a touchdown before the half to go down by 4 points, but then we come out with possession to start the second half, and we piss that away. No score on it. Now, something else that pisses me off.
We did have a chance in the middle 8 there.
Yeah.
We had a chance, and then I don't know why not just throw a Hail Mary as time's expiring. Instead, you clap out of frustration and you give them the ball at the 50.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Just totally ridiculous. Something else that did drive me nuts too, and I agree. It should have just throw a fucking Hail Mary at that point. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Is when we got the ball and scored the go-ahead touchdown to make it 40-34, and we know that we had the missed extra point with Buckner, fumbling that away. But you can't really get that. Just a quick aside, you can't really get that mad at Buckner. I mean, I'm pissed, but it's like, I mean, there's not a single universe where Notre Dame should be scoring 40 points and losing a game. It should never happen ever again in the history of Notre Dame football. It's been 100 and some odd years, and it should never happen ever for the next 1,000. But more than anything, on that drive where we did score, we took 6 minutes and 13 seconds off the clock and scored with just under
2 minutes and 53
left.
seconds.
Yep, 2 minutes, 53 seconds, exactly. I think that I was thinking in the moment that Notre Dame had to have a little bit more urgency. I think they should have scored an entire minute earlier, and they could have. They were running down the clock. I thought they should have pushed. I thought they should have put their foot on the gas because Reed and Carver and Concepcion, and like this team was making plays all day. They were pushing the ball downfield. They showed a propensity for it, and you were getting no pressure on them. The odds were that they were going to come back and score. You had to give yourself 45 seconds to a minute left to try to get into field goal position for the win. And they just did not give themselves the time. They had timeouts still when they gave up the touchdown pass at the end. So from a coaching standpoint, there's clock management, there's play calling, there's formations. Jeremiah Love makes the mistake again, trying to bounce it outside instead of just going up the middle. And that, if you are going to go outside, don't go out to the one side of the field where you have absolutely no blocker because it's your quarterback who's never going to block for you. So this was just a uncharacteristically sloppy game. I obviously still love Marcus Freeman and trust in him, but I think institutionally, this is what happens when you have the drop off from an Al Golden to a Chris Ash, and you want to get in here and make some points. So jump in. Yeah,
Marcus Freeman, I gotta talk to you. Stop calling timeouts when it's 4th and whatever at home, because all you're doing is taking the momentum out of the game. You need one more stop, unless there's something seriously wrong, keep that timeout. Just let the crowd do its job. There was no way they were completing that 4th and 11 if he doesn't call that timeout. You gave him time to go in there, set up a play, get their shit together, just because you want to set up our defense right, which, by the way, has never worked once. Not one time has this worked when you do this. So please stop. All right. Fuck, man. That same thing happened at Ohio State. That's why it's the same level of embarrassing loss at the end. Like, you can't have it. Just do nothing. Like, you don't need to call timeout there, man. You don't. And I think that's a new head coaching thing, and no one's pulled him aside and told him that. Someone's got to tell him that. Also, it's 4th and 11. I feel like you should be just... We got pressure, so I can't be mad. But I feel like you got to put a little more pressure on him. But you got tackled running through the middle, so I can't be too mad at that. What I can be mad at, though, is Mike Mickens, because I don't know if you're pissed that you didn't get the defensive coordinator job, because you earned it. We all know that. And you're just telling your DBs to just throw the game, because that's what it looks like, because they suck. There's not one. Leonard Moore. That's it. And he got hurt. It's the only defensive back we got right now. From cornerback to safety. And apparently middle linebacker too. Like, no one could cover a pass. Soft zone for the last 45 minutes of the game was not the answer. I get it. By the way, we do have a new nickname for Christian Gray because it's about time. His new nickname is Toast because this dude is getting burned all the time. And I was allowing it last year. I was trying to be nice about it. It was a problem, but it was like he's still pretty good. The last 2 games, I don't know if he's regressed. Somehow he's regressed. So your new name is Toast. Congratulations. You keep getting burned. Prove me wrong. Man, all right. And now let's do some positive things. The reverse flea flicker, that was cool. I think that was ingenuitive. No one was expecting it. Gave us a big play. And I got 7 plays here that I want to go through. They're not in a row. These happen throughout the game, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. And give me your thoughts after each one. Ready? Wildcat play number 1, first and goal at the 5. Wagner was slow off the ball. Between Reardon and Wagner, they just left the defensive end in again, and a loss of 2 and loss of Love's helmet. Thoughts on the first one?
Just infuriating that the offensive line seems to still be miscommunicating when it's not just that they are playing together now in this year, and it's not just that they had all season or off season to prepare, and it's not just that they had the last 2 weeks after the Miami loss to prepare. It's that they also all played together last year too. We're talking about an 18-month project here, and you can't get a fucking basic run block. It's very irritating.
All right, so that was a fail. 0 for 1. Wildcat play number 2 was a success. Everyone blocked someone. I don't remember which one it was, but it worked. Wildcat play number 3, mild success for Jadarian Price, couple yards. Did you like it when Price ran it?
I always love when Jadarian Price is running it. I love that guy.
Out of the Wildcat?
I'm not saying that I hate the formation and that it should never be called. I just think that it's something that needs to be used sparingly, and you also have to mix in the occasional reverse or counter or trick play in that. Because unless you're unequivocally a way more dominant team and you can just throw it right down their fucking throat and there's nothing they can do to stop it, if you're facing an equal opponent, then you'll win a couple of the times, 30-40% of the time, maybe 50% of the time, but you increase your chances when you start to throw in some trickeration and everything. So I just didn't understand why they just kept running straight. And in certain circumstances. So I'm not opposed to it, just time and place and do it appropriately, which I don't think that they've handled. I didn't think that we handled the RPO scene down in Miami well, and I don't think that we handled the Wildcat scene in South Bend well.
Well, there's good news because we ran it 5 more times, so there's still a chance for a trick play in here. I got more to read. Wildcat play number 4 was a mild success. Love ran for 3 yards. Wildcat play number 5. Massive failure on 4th and 1. Love lost a yard at midfield. Didn't love that. Wildcat play number 6. A success. 1st and 10. Love ran it for 6 yards. And then this was the setup, right? The final Wildcat play. You've been setting up all day. Here's your time for a trick play or whatever. Nah. Wildcat play number 7. Love. 8-yard run up the middle on 4th and 1. Congratulations. It paid off. You set them up for nothing. One more thing. We're going to bounce around here a lot, listeners, because this team was all over the place, and so are we. I feel like if they didn't have that holding call on that kick return, but Bussey ran back, I think that would have been better for Notre Dame because that means the offense is back out there.
Yeah.
Although,
you're not joking.
In the same breath, I saw Buckner's eyes on TV. I didn't see him on the game. I was like, that just sucks. Like, I thought he was going to hit the tight end there on the fire drill. I really did. I'm surprised he didn't. Buckner can make that throw. And he needs to after you drop the ball.
That's what pissed me off. Is I didn't realize that it was Buckner until I watched the replay. And then when I watched the replay, I was like, why didn't Buckner why does he not make that throw? Why does he not make that play? Why does he not make that man miss that was coming in and applying pressure to him? Like, I thought very highly of Buckner's ability to throw on the run and be a playmaker. I don't think highly of his ability to read defenses. He just simply never developed that skill, and I think he got screwed by injuries and COVID in his career. It is what it is. But if you're a playmaker and if there's a fire drill and you're called on to make plays, make a fucking throw or juke somebody or just do something. You have to give yourself a way better look than what that was. That was pathetic.
Yeah, I think it was just pure panic set in, and all your teachings go out the window in that moment. But that's why you're there. You're there to make sure if that does happen, you got to make the play. Yeah, and by the way, 2 minutes, 53 seconds left of the game, up 6 points. It was at that moment I knew we lost. Like, I might have been the only person in the stands that knew we lost, but I knew we lost. And it was just hope. It was just hope that you could stop them. It was because there was no real chance that defense wasn't going to get burned. And then they ran the kickoff back, and I was like, that's par for the course. And they got a holding, and I'm like, okay. And then they threw the ball for 80 yards, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the roller coaster of emotional bullshit that we have to go through as Notre Dame fans every single time that a big team comes into our house, and we should beat them handily. All right. So yeah, those are the. All right, let me go back to the good things. Jared Price had a nice touchdown run. Tui Alamaka had one of the 2 tackles for loss. He actually got credited with a half. I thought it was a full. He had a pretty good game. Leonard Moore, great pick. Gave us momentum on our side of the ball, and then Wagner misses his block on a run. And I gotta be honest, maybe number 9 was John Cena, because they were playing John Cena's theme song in the stadium a few times, because no one could see him. Number 9 defensive end, Cassius Howell, just kept blowing by everyone. All right. Leonard Moore got hurt. That sucked. We now know that Mark Zachary, the 4th, is the 4th stringer for a reason, because you can never let someone get behind you in cover 3 zone. All right? That's for 45 yards at the goal line. That's pretty basic. Like, cover 3. What's your one job? Last guy back. And you got burned in zone? That's bad. The last drive, because there's so much shit that could be talked about. So let's just focus on the last drive and all the problems there. Toast is the key word today. KVA, he had an okay game. I won't say it was great. He needs to be a better spy, because there was that 3rd and 8, and Reed just scrambled after that massive play. And KVA was a spy. He was playing from like defensive end on the right side, and the guy ran to the left side, and KVA just chased him out of bounds on a 10-yard gain. Like, if you're not going to be able to spy, just blitz him. You know? All right. So then somehow we make it 3rd and 16. And somehow Toast makes it about himself again and gives them a first down with holding. Toast is a liability. Okay? He's been a liability, and I've been defending him long enough. Someone's got to sit him down and see what is going on in his head. Because he's talented. I don't know why he's so inconsistent and does the stupidest things. And then he comes back and makes a big play to make up for it. Like, yes, I made an interception, pick 6, whatever. You dropped enough this game. You didn't make up for it this game. You just sucked. All right? Well, bad defensive back is contagious, because then Carson Hobbs had the ball go between his shoulders and his hands to also end the game. There were so many chances for this team to win this game. So many chances for this defense to do anything. And it just never happened. All right.
Yeah. And we just rushed for the entire time on that final drive. Rush 4, drop 7, and just expect something good to happen when nothing had been happening all day. And when you were rushing, when you were pressuring Reed with blitzes, he was very inconsistent. Was throwing balls that were hitting Irish defenders in the hands. Was throwing incompletions. And he was hurrying. You know, you gotta. I don't know. Just go. It's almost like playing prevent defense. It never works. Just dropping back never works. especially when you have a guy like Mario Craver out there and with over 200 yards. Actually, here's a good one for you, folks. Here's a great trivia question for you. Who before Craver, who went 7 for 207 and a touchdown in this game, before his 207 yards, Tim, who is the last wide receiver to play against Notre Dame and have over 200 yards? Because, I mean, in the past couple years, we've played Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith, we've played Devonta Smith in the national or in the playoff a couple years ago. I mean, surely there must have been one of these high-profile wide receivers over the last couple of years to have 200-plus yards on Notre Dame. Who was the last person to do it?
So I'm going to give the listeners at home a chance to think about this as I read to you the last time I thought it was. And I thought it was either Michigan 2019 or Clemson 2020. So the 2020 stats, for everyone wondering, Clemson had a total of 439 yards receiving that game. It was just a long game, right? Overtime, COVID, all kinds of craziness. But Cornell Powell only had 6 catches for only 161 yards that game, followed by Marriott Rogers with 8 catches for 134. So then Michigan, that was not the case. For those of you that want to relive that one, we actually only gave up 8 catches against Michigan in 2019 for a total of 134 yards. We just let them run 303 yards all over us. So then we went to Grok. Thank you, AI, for giving me the answer, because the last time that this happened, you have to go back to 2006 with Brady Quinn playing Purdue, and I don't even know how to say his name. Selwyn Lyman, or Lemon, Selwyn, last name Lymon, Lyman. 8 catches for 238 yards. Next guy on the team had 41 yards receiving. That dude caught all over us. We won that game 35-21, which is probably why no one thinks about it, but that's a hell of a performance. I do want to point out that we scored 35 points and won the game because even though giving up 238 yards to one dude, we only held him to 21 points. Just a thought.
Yeah, who would have fucking thought? Who would have fucking thought that it's 2006? It's been 19 years since a receiver had over 200 yards against Notre Dame, and it happens against what everyone said is going to be the number one defensive secondary. Well, and don't get me wrong, the defensive secondary deserves a ton of shit that we're rightly giving them, but the defensive line is just anemic. They're abysmal. They don't accomplish a single fucking thing. They don't do anything. They are literally just tackling dummies, or they're basically sleds that offensive linemen push in training camp. They don't do anything. So of course the guys are going to be getting wide open when the quarterback has 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw. Did you see that play by Marcel Reed dancing around the pocket? Ultimately,
yeah, that one was
one of his guy. Yeah,
finds
a guy downfield for like 35 yards. Because he's just bouncing around. It's like playing Madden on rookie mode, and putting the AI slider, to 99% pass, pass blocking. It's like our defensive line is just absolutely pathetic. Al Washington, that seat is got to be heating up. I don't know, man. It's the prevailing thought that I had through these first 2 games is, one, we are still a top 15 team in the country, and it really sucks that we lost these 2 games because they were both winnable, but more than anything, it feels like these guys don't know the opportunity that they have, and they've pissed it away and squandered it. And we'll get into the dream being the window slightly open, the dream being slightly alive, and we'll cover that a little bit more. But Tim, to you first.
Yeah, I want to disagree with you on the defensive line because they played way better this game than last game.
They played better than they did against Miami because they couldn't have played worse against Miami. But
I felt like the run blocking was way better. Like the A&M couldn't get the running game going at all. And I think that's what the defensive line was selling out on. Although, all right, I'm going to bring it back up. I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to bring it back my chalk sheet of all this bullshit. Play number 1, Texas A&M. First play of the game, they're in shotgun, there's 11 guys in the box basically for an A&M, right? And Notre Dame is in nickel. A&M is in 11 personnel, and they're a shotgun bunch right. And Notre Dame, they were just, the look on their faces must have been absolute surprise, like getting scared in a haunted house when they ran the ball. Because there was no one on that team that was expecting the run when there's 11 guys on offense in the box. Like, the defensive ends were just standing straight up. Like, not even 3-point stance, not even 2-point stance. There's, like, they're trying to see how tall they could be to get on the the roller coaster at the amusement park, make sure they're that tall. Like, it was bad, that first play. And I was like, this is kind of setting the tone for the rest of the game. The ends were standing straight up, there was no gap discipline, and it was a 12-yard run. And they were playing zone in nickel, and it was bad. But after that, kind of got it together. Like, defense, like, they didn't really give up much rushing. I don't even know what the total yards were because I've been too pissed to look off.
We gave up 128 yards rushing. Their leading rusher, Le'Veon Moss, had 81 yards on 20 carries. That's 4.1. His longest carry was 12 yards. So we were bottling them up for sure.
Oh, 12. Yeah, 20 carries. Sorry, 12-yard run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first play of the game. 12-yard run. He had 3 touchdowns. When you're gassed. This is why I'm like, I can't be mad at the defensive line for giving up on these goal line stands, because they just ran a 100-yard sprint to get back to the line of scrimmage after the defensive backs got torched, got torched, or Mark Henry, the 4th string, got torched on 80-yard plus passing plays. Like, those are fat dudes on the defensive line. They got to run down there. They only got 40 seconds between plays. They got to run down there, get the play, and get set. Like, I can't be mad for not holding him at the goal line. I thought Heinisch played better. I think Rubio made some good plays. Tuiamaka made some good plays. I can't be mad at the defensive line because there was one stunt, I counted it. I thought it was slow, and I timed it out. They got to the quarterback in under 3 seconds on the stunt. It looked like it was slow developing, but in reality it wasn't. And it was kind of like that throughout the game. It just felt slow, but it wasn't because they were actually slow on the pass rush. And they stopped the run. They sold out for the run, which hurt. That's on Ash, by the way, because our linebackers and our safeties bid on that play action every damn time. And that can't happen. All right. I got 2 more things I want to say on Chris Ash since we're on the topic of his bullshit. This defense has played so bad. If we lose to Purdue, at least we know we're getting a new defensive coordinator. We're doing the Van Gorder thing, right? Like, we were almost rooting against Notre Dame in 2016 because we just wanted him gone. We're right there. Like, you got 1 more week before we're kind of right there. Like, all right, let's just lose so we can get ready for next year. Get a because when you fire someone this early in the season, the good news is there's a lot of good coaches out there that you can find, right? I don't know. But Mickens isn't the answer because these DBs are playing horrible. We wanted him. I wanted him to be the defensive coordinator. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's Ash that's making him make them bad, or Mickens is just not doing good. I don't know. But both y'all got to get it together. Ash did say, and this is one thing Ash said he would do, and he did, right? So Ash said in his pressers, preseason, whatever, he wanted to disguise the coverage. Well, good job, because you disguised the coverage, because not even the defense knows what coverage they're in. Totally disguised. No one knows what's happening. I'm just going to read through my notes, because it's just so bad. All right. First quarter was pretty fine, except for that 85-yard play. We talked about that. Then you played super soft zone for 45 minutes and gave up 21 points in the second quarter. What the hell are you doing? You serious? 21 points in a 15-minute time span? You couldn't stop them once? You couldn't make them, take a breath? Good Lord. Oh. 21 points. They scored 28 points in the first half. They should never score 28 points in the game against Notre Dame. 21 points in a quarter. They scored 13 in the second half, which is better than 28. But, you could have stopped them. You could have only gave up 6 if you stopped them on that last drive with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left, and you're in prevent defense, and guess what? You didn't prevent shit. Oh.
Yeah. No, it's all brutal to stomach. You're exactly right. Ash is basically coaching for his life here. And I'll tell you what. The next we have a get-right game against Purdue, and things should go well. Like, that's the complete preview, basically. But I'll tell you what. There's 2 very losable games coming up in just the next couple of weeks alone. And that's going to be Arkansas, and that's going to be USC. I think we still have the ponies to beat Boise State. I don't think we should worry about them. But USC looks fantastic right now. They look like a real problem. And
they beat
Arkansas,
Purdue.
They have a hell of a quarterback. And they were very feisty, and they fought down to the last second against Ole Miss. Ole Miss isn't what they used to be last year, but they're still a real good team. And I think that Notre Dame is better than Ole Miss. But
I do too.
Not by much at this point. Not the way things have been going. So there's just too much area for concern. So Ash is, he's already been baptized by fire already. But his turnaround time to get things right and effectively keep his job, the margin for error is effectively 0. And Marcus Freeman did allude to in his press conference that he is going to possibly take on more of an active role with helping to coach the defense, being a prior defensive coordinator.
Which press conference are you talking about? The one that was today or the one that was yesterday?
Today, yeah.
Or Saturday night. Okay. I had it on today, and I was just, every time he talked, I would just get pissed. Because I would just replay something in my head from that game. And so I didn't really listen to it like I did. Because after the game on Saturday, he was like, no, it was never a thought. I actually texted one of our friends from the 1 Foot Down account, and I said, I know one of y'all's got credentials to go ask Marcus Freeman a question after this game. Please go in there and ask him if he ever thought about taking over defensive play calling, and if not, why. And somebody else asked that. So I wasn't the only one thinking it.
Yeah. No, it's getting bad. And that defense needs to be addressed. So there are some things to be happy about. I mean, just to focus on the things that did go right. There was plenty that went wrong, and we covered it, pretty clearly here. But once again, CJ Carr, I mean, hell yeah, man.
Oof. Yes.
293 yards, a touchdown, did throw an interception, but had a better QBR than Marcel Reed. Like, he had an 80 QBR. Which is real good.
Actually, that interception, can I talk about that for a second? Because that's one where he's too good. That's one where Carr's like, I'm a good thrower. In that situation, yes, you had him open, but you had a defensive lineman in your face, so now you got to jump shot this ball over him, which is the right move, but you overthrew it by that.
He should have just trusted his feet and taken off.
Just run. There's nothing wrong with 2 yards there.
So that's a freshman
he's going to
mistake. I can get over that.
He's going to learn. Yeah, our previous quarterbacks would have. There's not a quarterback since Ian Book that could have made that throw either. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, so CJ Carr was a bright spot, and I think it's really awesome for us to understand that, our freshman quarterback is really fucking good. And that I'm going to come back around to that point here in just a minute. But again, freshman quarterback, really good. So
he's going to be the first. He's going to be the first quarterback that gets drafted in the NFL in the first round from Notre Dame since Joe Montana or whoever, Tony Rice or whoever it was. He's that good. I can already tell you right now, he's going to be a first-round draft pick in 3 years.
Yeah, at this rate, absolutely correct. 35 carries combined between Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. They had, let's see, just quick back-of-the-napkin math here, 152 yards combined with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, before I forget, there is one thing that CJ Carr needs. Someone's got to pull him aside. He's telegraphing the plays ahead of time.
Yeah, I did see that. Was that Pete Sam? I can't
It's
even
Pete
think of his
Sampson.
name.
Yeah, Pete
Yeah,
Sampson.
Pete
I kind of
Sampson.
saw it during the game, but I didn't really notice. Like, I noticed it, but I was like, I didn't notice it, because I'm in the stands. I'm very far away, so I couldn't get a good look at it. When I was watching the replay today, I already knew it happened, so I kind of cheated a little bit, but I was like, oh, yeah, every single play. He's standing.
And the tip was for people to pay attention to, if you have not seen the tweet from Pete Sampson in the reporting, is that when CJ Carr was passing, I think he had his feet staggered, whereas when it was a run, his feet were perpendicular or parallel to one another. They were straight. So if that's a tell, and for him to have the game that he had, and for the running backs to have the game that they had, and the offense to play as well as they did when they were telegraphing what they were going to do, is all the more impressive to the offensive line, to the running backs, and to CJ Carr. It's one of those freshman things he just has to tighten up.
You know what's crazy is, what do you think was more telegraphing? When CJ Carr would stand his feet differently, or when we'd line up in the Wildcat?
Yeah, yeah.
We were just letting them know the entire game. I didn't put that together till right now.
Yeah. No,
Someone.
when you're right, you're right. So that, those are two positives right off the bat. The offensive line absolutely was better. How many sacks were there total on CJ Carr? Just one?
Was there? I don't know.
2 sacks.
Which one was it? 2? I didn't see him.
Damian Sanford and Albert Regis both had sacks. So I mean, we gave up 2 sacks.
No,
so
those weren't on Carr though. Those were on Love.
Yeah,
I'm
not saying that they were on. I'm just saying, like, the offensive line.
No. Like those tackles, they didn't tackle Carr. They tackled Love in the backfield on both. Those both count as sacks when you're in the Wildcat. If you get hit in the backfield, that's not a TFL. That's a sack. So those are the 2 sacks. Carr didn't get sacked.
That's ridiculous because they're design run plays, but whatever. But even so, I mean, the pass protection was much better. The running game was much better because holes were opening. I mean, there were some missed blocks, there were some missed assignments, but on the whole, I mean, we ran for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns against an SEC defense, and a damn good one at that. Passed for almost 300 yards. Good things were happening. Malachi Fields was starting to find his game, right? Going up, getting those contested catches, those one-on-one balls. Jaden Greathouse and Will Pauling both with 2 catches in this game when they had nothing in the first game. So, there were positives to take away from this, but yeah, and I'm gonna go back to the CJ Carr point here in just a minute. But before I loop back around. And then we can basically close out. We can close out here with A&M talk as we start to focus on kind of the future of the program. So Tim, what are your parting thoughts on this A&M catastrophe?
Well, first I need to for our Canadian friend Dylan, he gave me some words to read on his behalf. So this is about the A&M game, obviously. So allow me to try and imitate him the best I can. CJ Carr is him. The defense is atrocious, when it should have been the strength of the team. I absolutely can't with Buckner. We're still a good team. 10-2, buddy. Should be the expectation. Hey, guy?
You're so mean.
Hey! Don't call me mean, guy.
I'm not your guy, pal.
I'm not your pal, buddy. I also did get his score prediction for when we get to that later, just so you know.
So let's save the score predictions against Purdue for the end.
Right.
Yeah, we'll cover that here in just a minute. Now, moving on from A&M, I mean, there's positives to take away from it. I'm not going to have any additional closing thoughts. I mean, I'm just too tired.
We've beat the hell out of this horse.
It's been a long week, and I will say this. Actually, let me just really quickly kind of dip my toe in and then get the fuck out. Yeah, the past week has proved that there's shit outside of football. Shit that matters. things that are ultimately not in our control. And what does matter the most is spending time with loved ones and just trying to be the best person that you can be every day for you, for your family, for your community, for your country. So, quite frankly, did this loss suck? Yes. Did I get really upset and take 200 milligrams of edibles afterwards because I wanted to feel nothing? Also, yes. But are there things that are bigger than cheering on our favorite 18 to 22-year-olds? Also, yes. So, yes, this loss sucked a lot of balls. Every ball imaginable. Every ball in Notre Dame Stadium. How many balls do you think there were in Notre Dame Stadium?
Well, there's 80,000 people, and then there were 20,000 A&M fans.
Probably got to be 60-40 males, a female.
Yeah. Well, there are 20,000 A&M fans, so there's 20,000 people with no balls.
Okay. The math checks out there.
Yeah. I want to make sure I get the good news out. So there's two more things I want to say. Malachi Fields had a great game. James Rundell had a great game. He had 2 punts. Both were excellent. One was at the 10, one was at the 1. Can't do better than that. Drake Bowen, he may have given up the game-winning touchdown, but he had 3 monster hits. Like absolute
Let him
truck
play
sticks.
downhill. Don't let him play coverage.
Yeah. And then bad things I want to say. Targeting was bullshit. I wish Jaden Mickey never transferred. If these last 2 games don't show that we could have used them, I don't know what would. And I will say this: if this game did go to overtime and we did hit that extra point, this is all a bunch of ifs. But if it did, Notre Dame would have pulled out on top. Do you know why? Because that defensive backfield could only get burned for 30-plus yards, and you start on the 25 in overtime or whatever it is. So I think we would have had odds in our favor there. Toast would have been cooking.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, now I'm over. Those are the last 3 things I want to talk about.
Absolutely. So the long and short of it is, this sucked, but life goes on, and we will move on from A&M. We will move on from being 0-2. Before we get into Purdue, we're actually not going to do picks this week. It's just life got a little bit hectic. Dylan's not here, so we're going to put all of our picks out on social media. So follow along, please, at Horseman Pod.
Actually, there's one pick I want us to do. This between me and you.
One pick that we did want to address here. So
I'm pulling it up
Tim,
right now.
You were adamant about this one. You made your stump speech on the table to get us on this. So what's your game?
All right. So everyone knows that I've been ranking Nebraska every week because I believe in them. I think their quarterback's the dude. The under/over for this game, Nebraska-Michigan. Wolverines are a 1.5-point favorite over the Cornhuskers, and the over/under is set at 44.5 points. So, obviously, I'm going Michigan. I'm going Nebraska. But I wanted to get your take on it, so that way when you pick Michigan and they win, I can just feel like the shithead I am.
You must be new here. I'm taking Nebraska 100%. I would Michigan could be playing the school for the fucking blind, and I'll take the blind.
So you believe in Nebraska?
I am a Nebraska respecter. I was a Nebraska believer last year, and they burned me. So I'm not going to be a believer this year, but I'm still a respecter. I want them to prove it, that they belong in the conversation. I think a 9-3 season is on the table with them if they get their shit together. I think Matt Rule's a good coach. Also, in that game, I will take the under because you want to know who sucks?
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, under all day in a Big Ten game every time.
They call him Bryce Underwood for a reason.
All right, there's this week's picks, boys.
Yeah. No,
actually, you know what? Dylan's taking Michigan because he's not here to defend himself. So let's make him take Michigan.
Noted Michigan fanatic and lifelong Wolverine fan, Dylan. All right, now as we get into the rest of the season here, there's still things to play for. I think that, as we discussed last week, 10-2 still gets you in the college football playoff. But I think that what we've seen is that this team can compete with any team, any top 10 team in the country that this team can compete with, or teams rather,
Yeah.
10 through 130, whatever. But teams 1 through 5, I think that we would probably lose all those games.
Right now, yes.
Right
but
now.
I don't, by the end of the
As
season,
it stands
we'll
right
see.
now, and things can change, but as it stands right now, I think that Notre Dame still can run the table and they can go 10-2, and I think that they can win one, possibly multiple playoff games. Do I think that they're going to go past the semifinal or even get to the semifinal? I'm actually starting to get some doubts on that one. I really don't think that this is the year. I think this is going to be more of a growth and development type year, quite frankly, and that absolutely sucks for me to say. So I'm going to get into it in a minute, but Tim, is there any sort of outlook that you have in the system before I start going?
Yeah, the season's over, boys and girls. The season's over. The dream is dead, right? We're 0-2, right? We're dead. Miami went 10-2 last year. They didn't make it. Okay. Also, that Miami team was not very good. This year's Miami team is not very good. But we're worse. We suck. We couldn't beat Miami or A&M in games we should have absolutely won. So there is a path. It's a very hard path. You got to go 10-2. And then I think Miami's going to win the ACC because the whole ACC is dog shit. So they'll probably win it, which means we'll have a close loss on the road, week opener against a top 10 team, ACC conference champion. That helps the resume. So if there's other 10-2 teams there, we should beat them out. But A&M, I got news for you. They're not winning out, right? They're going to get smoked in a few weeks whenever they play whoever, right? They're not that good. We played bad again in defense. A&M hasn't been good all year, really. Like, they played a really good game against us. And they made us look like toddlers. So I'm rooting for them the rest of the year because now we have to. Like, in this expanded playoff area, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to just root against whoever because if you have one loss, you should still make it. Well, right now, we're 2 losses. So now we need help. So call me an Aggie. Call me a cultist the rest of the year. Call me a Hurricane. I hate it with all my heart, but that's what we need. So if we're going to make the playoff, we got to, 1, learn how to play defense, and 2, get help. Otherwise, here's the silver lining. The season's dead, so now we can just enjoy football the rest of the day. Like, we lost. Who gives a shit? Like, we're already out. Who cares? Like, let's just drink and have fun and be merry. Because, my whole entire life doesn't ride and hinge on the success of Notre Dame every year. Not me. No, I'm not living in Notre Dame for 7 weeks in a row, going to every game and living and breathing Notre Dame football while I left my fiance and dogs at home to fend for themselves. I didn't even leave them dog food or money. I didn't leave them $20 on the counter for pizza. No, I'm not here at Notre Dame, sacrificing my life, spending thousands of dollars and just sweating and pissing Notre Dame and love for the next. No, that's not me. Couldn't be me. It's not me watching the replay for 4, 5, 6 hours a day from 3 o'clock to 7:30. Not me. Couldn't be watching that replay. Even though I fast forwarded through all the commercials, I still watched it for longer than it aired. You know why? Because that's not me. I don't love Notre Dame like that. I'm not an obsessed person. So yeah, let's have fun. Let's drink. Let's have good times.
At least it's not you. Speaking of you and speaking of the listener, and I want people to tweet at us, and what I want us to really quickly put together, and then we'll close with a we'll close out here after this, but what would be your wish list for the rest of the year?
Pop-Tarts Bowl.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl. If we end up in the Pop-Tarts Bowl,
I'm going.
I'm so fucking mad I can't even say it. If we end up in that godforsaken bowl, I'm jumping off the Ravenel Bridge in Charleston, South Carolina. You will see a death happen. Anyway.
Listen, Pop-Tarts Bowl is epic.
But what do you want to see? What if we look back, give me a short 3, 5, 10 point checklist of things that you need to see this Notre Dame team accomplish the rest of the year. I'm gonna just quickly run through it. 1, I want to see 2 1,000-yard rushers. I want to see both Love and Price get over 1,000 yards. I think it's possible. I want to see C.J. Carr throw for over 3,500 yards. I think that's possible. I want to see Notre Dame have their first 1,000-yard receiver. I think that's also possible as well. And more than anything, I think we need to start averaging 3 sacks a game for the rest of the season. And I think that's possible, kind of given the team and the dynamic.
Yeah, KVA and Prince of Boo Boo can do it.
Yeah. So that's my quick wish list. I mean, of course, I still think we're on the inside track and we are in control of our own destiny to go 10-2. But there's going to be challenges along the way.
So your 3 goals are different than my 3 goals, because my first goal is, it's a tall task to ask, but my first goal is we don't look like Florida State last year and we get a win before week 7, 8, 9, or whatever the hell they got one. So that's goal 1, get a win. Goal 2, win the games that matter. Right? So if we miss the playoffs, if we lose another game, so be it. Do not lose to USC. Right? Beat USC. I can't. This could be the last time we ever play them. They're a bunch of assholes. Can't have it. 3. This is asking a lot of the Notre Dame football program, but I would like you to start showing up for games. I'm showing up for games. You guys can show up for games too. Enough of this half-ass bullshit from the coaching staff, from the players, from the equipment managers, to the cheerleaders, to the concession stands people. I don't actually, concession stands were dope this time. Can't even argue about them. They did a great job. Ushers are always great. But for the whole football team, show up. Just show up. If y'all do your jobs and y'all show up, you'll get goals 1 and 2 taken care of. So show up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, I mean, like you mentioned, at this point we're playing with house money. I just want to see C.J. Carr have some fun. Just develop. Just go out there and sling it, man. There's really nothing else to be afraid of at this point, especially if you get one more loss. Then you know for a fact you're eliminated at 9-3. So, at the very least, when I play golf, I can hit the living piss out of the ball, but I can also, I'm like every other golfer. I'm left, right, marching orders to my ball, basically, right? But every once in a while, I find the ball just going dead straight right down the fairway. And I find way more success when I stop thinking about technique and stop worrying about all this sort of stuff, and I just go up there and say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to overswing, but I'm just going to swing 100% and just go at this thing. I have nothing to fear. I'm just going to play loose, going to play fearless, and just go for it. And that's the way that this whole team has to approach things, but also C.J. Carr. You're going to throw interceptions, man. We don't care as fans if a redshirt freshman is throwing interceptions. Just go for it, man. Just don't think about it. Just ball out, be a gamer, have some fun with it, and just let it go. And I have one more thought on CJ Carr, but was there anything you wanted to add there before I finish?
Yeah, CJ Carr squeezed some in some windows, and they're all great throws. His interceptions so far seem to be just like fate, and yes, some of them were bad decisions and bad throws, but you had one that got tipped, and you had one that got tipped again, and then kicked in the air. So
yeah. And to close out here, the fact that we have a redshirt freshman quarterback that is in the 2 toughest games, he brought he brought his team within striking distance and really put them in a position to win these games, or at the very least to compete for overtime, and just didn't work out our way. And the defense has largely been failing him. But we know that this roster is playing way worse than what they are. We know that the future is only going to be better. Everyone is only going to progress. They're only going to develop more. They're only going to get better. And there's way more talent in the pipeline coming through with recruiting. So, yeah, this probably is not going to be our year. 99.9% chance that, this is simply just not going to be our year. We still have playoffs to play for. We still have 10-2 to play for. So it's not over, but at the very least, I can rest easy knowing that we have the guy at quarterback, and we're going to have at least, including this season, where we have at least 3 seasons of CJ Carr football. Like, life it's going to be okay. Things are going to work out for this program. We thought this was the year. Turns out it's not, but the rest assured thing is that next year you have no question marks at QB. You just have to tighten up a couple of things here and there with the rest of this roster, and you're in a good spot. So that's why I'm so optimistic, and it's all going to work out, guys.
Well, there's good news about us being 0-2, and this is going to counter everything you just said, because the last time a team was 0-2 and ranked in the AP Top 25, the year was 1988. It feels like 88, boys. Just give us the natty now. Nothing's going to stop us.
Absolutely. So, with all of that being said, thanks for joining in with us this week, guys. I know you were probably expecting
we got score predictions.
Yep. I know that you guys were expecting a bunch of screaming. There was some of it. There was certainly a lot of us being pissed off. Dylan, believe it or not, is in fact still Canadian, even though he's not here. We have Purdue coming up this week. We're not going to overly look into all the stats and all this stuff that we need to know, because it's Purdue, and when we needed a win last year after Northern Illinois' disaster, we came back and beat the living piss out of Purdue as a get right game, and I certainly hope that we can do that again this week. So that it is what it is. So without any further ado, Tim, what is your score prediction, and then also provide Dylan's, please.
Yeah, I got a little bit of analysis. Not too much. It's a minute long, maybe. So Purdue, obviously embarrassed last year at home. Biggest blowout they've ever had against Notre Dame. Most points we've scored in my lifetime, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you know that last year, Purdue, this year, looked at this game and circled it, saying, this is our chance to, steal some thunder from these boys. They are ranked in the preseason poll. That might be 2-0 after 2 huge games, right? And then we'll take that thunder from them. Like, we're gonna beat their ass, right? We're gonna get our revenge. There is no one in the world more scared right now than Purdue, because they're like, oh fuck, it's gonna happen again. they're terrified, bro. They're like, oh no, they lost 2 heartbreakers and they're all pissed off. No, they're gonna put up 70 now. Oh no. So that being said, my score prediction is going to be outrageous, right? Because it should be. Mm-hmm. So I think the offense, because the offense is already good, right? The offense is good. Last year it was not at this point. So I'm going to go really up there. I'm going to say 77 to 76.
It's entirely feasible. We give up 76 points on defense at this point.
No, I'm gonna go 77. I'm gonna say 77 because I think that this is gonna be a massacre. But I am gonna give Purdue. Oh yeah. Also, one thing about Purdue that we gotta keep track of, and USC, is USC beat Purdue 33-17 on the road last week. So we have to do better than that score margin if we're going to pretend like we can be as good as USC or beat them. So I'm going to go 77. They put up 17 against USC. USC's defense is ass, so divide that in half and divide it in half again. 5. 77 to 5.
Huh. Okay. And then what was the score that Dylan provided? Because I have mine here. Actually,
I've got mine written down. You go first.
Yeah, because I have no idea what Dylan would have provided, and I think we are going to give up some yards and some points, but this is going to be the defense getting back in the appropriate direction. And exactly as you said, the offense is kind of just firing in all cylinders. So, those boys should just keep going. I got Notre Dame to win this game, obviously, 55-17.
Wow. I was gonna bullshit around and just make his score up, but he's got it 49-20.
It's uncanny, man. I just don't get it. Yeah, me and Dylan come in close again. So without any further ado, thank you everybody for listening, for tuning in. Shoot us some tweets, give us some feedback, and interact with us. Tell us your wish list for the rest of the season. Give us your feedback. Are we toast at 10-2, or is there still life in the Irish tank, so to speak? R.I.P. Dylan, we miss you, but he'll be back next week. But in the meantime, rest in peace. And remember, life isn't that serious. It goes on. Football teams losing. I guarantee you're going to survive. Yeah, like, subscribe, rate 5 stars, shoot us a review, share this episode with your closest friends. Go Irish, and Timmy, see us out, buddy.
49-20. That's for Purdue. Hey, guy. 49-20. 49-20. Canadian out.